Okay, now I'm going to be showing you the Kong vault. This is the vault that is probably the #1 most feared by people first starting off. And the biggest thing they fear is clipping with their toes and then falling on their face, which can happen, but if you know the right technique, you really don't have to worry about it. And one of the myths that people think is that you have to be really flexible and be able to fit your legs between your hands to do it. That's not true. The technique's really all about lifting the hips up, and if you lift up your hips, you can go through without that much flexibility. The more flexible you are, that will help, but it isn't a key thing on doing the move. It's mostly technique. So what you can do to first start off is find a good bench or just a level like this and just get comfortable moving around in the Kong position. So you start off here, just jump up to the pinch. Just get used to it. And if you're not comfortable just going straight on top of it, you can go to the side. Cheat your legs to the side and go on top. And you want to imagine this is a ledge and you need to go over to this point over here. So stand here, jump, just go over. Now here's the technique. You're going to have your hands planted and your legs are going to be pretty much right here. You know, just a decent distance. Doesn't have to be too far away or too close. And you're going to hop up and you're going to swing your hips up in the air. So your body's going to be at an angle like this. This will allow you to put your legs through and complete the Kong. So I'll show you real quick. See that motion? You put your hips up and then you swing your legs through. You actually just push your arms through like that. So up. And it's that lift, and that'll help get you over, and that way you don't have to be extremely flexible to go through. Okay, after you get comfortable Konging up onto the picnic table or to the ledge, move up on top of it and then just Kong down. And then just like the other one, you can move your legs to the side if you're not comfortable going straight on. So you're going to lift those hips up, go to the side. And you want to slowly straighten it out to where you go all the way through. So hips up, through. And notice my hips are going up and I'm swinging them through and I'm bringing them back so I can land. Okay, now it's time to learn the Kong full out. So I'll show you the steps in doing that. Step 1 is the run up. What the run up consists of is, you know, a light jog. You don't want to go too fast so you just fly over it. You want a light jog. And then the takeoff. You can either take off with both legs and punch. A lot of beginners do that because they're more comfortable with it. And then the other one is where you take off one leg in a hurdle position. So you're going to be going like this. The second one is the one you want to use, or the one you want to build up into, because it's more fluid and you get more speed with it. But if you're not comfortable with that right now, it's okay to punch to start off with. So first step, get the run down. Second step is you're going to jump up and put your hips up in the air. You want your hips at least level with your head or a little bit higher. Then the third step is when you hit and you have your hips up high, you're going to whip your legs through and land. So you're gonna whip them through your hands and land. Now one thing you want to remember is when you hit your hands on the table or whatever you're Konging off of, when you're swinging through, right when you're swinging through, you want to let go with your hands or release with the hands. So it's when you're doing the Kong, you don't want to hold your hands there the whole time and keep them, because then you will have to be flexible enough to go through, or you'll end up under rotating and just slam on your butt. So you want to make sure really just hit off with your hands just real quick. Okay, now on step 3, you want to think of 2 factors when doing it. The first thing is driving the hips, and then when you release your hands. A lot of people will do one of 2 things. They'll either drive their hips too much and hold their hands on too long, or the opposite, where they don't put their hands on long enough or they don't drive their hips enough. So when you don't drive your hips hard enough, what you'll do is you won't land like this. You won't reach the rotation, and you'll have to go into a roll, or you'll just land on your stomach. I've seen people do that before. And then the second problem is when they do it too much, they will swing their hips. They'll drive their hips too hard, so they'll land on their heels or their butt. So just remember those things when you're practicing the Kong, and really just work on the proper technique. You'll be fine. Okay, if you're having problems getting your hips up in the air, here's a few tips you can do to solve that problem. Think about it like this. Your shoulders play a big part. So you want your shoulders leaned forward, and you want, of course, your head down so you can have those hips up. You can't have your hips up if your back is arched like this and your shoulders are up. You want them down and your head down so you can get those hips up. So just remember that when you're practicing the Kong.